So today I'm trying to make a balaclava for the cold weather to keep me warm, and I wanted to demonstrate some techniques I figured out for using this flat lock machine here. Unlike a serger or lock stitch machine, you really can't pin it together or clip it together because you have to come in from both sides and feed it through. Pieces like this, you might be able to clip together and just feed through the machine. But once you have a full tube, you won't be able to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm matching up the seam line before I put it on the machine, and then I'm going to mark both sides with some chalk. And this way, as I'm feeding it through, I'll be able to kind of keep everything even, not stretch one side more than the other. Just kind of make sure that my chalk marks line up as I go. I lift the presser foot up and feed the very beginning. I pinch them together so that the end of the fabric meets. Then I have to slide it between two sides of the presser foot. And I put it as close to the knife as I can, let the presser foot down. And the way I like to make sure I keep everything nice and even as I feed it, and the same. So there's really no seam allowance technically, because the fabric is going to be cut off as it's fed through. But like an effective seam allowance is, I'd like to keep that even. So I keep the fabric basically flush with the top of the presser foot. So that bit here, about 1/4 inch, becomes my seam allowance. And then I just kind of try and maintain even tension on the fabric as I feed it through. So kind of like a serger, as it sews, it's also cutting the fabric off. So it cuts the fabric flush with the top of the fabric that's pushed up between. Those ends are cut off flush with the top of the fabric. And then just beyond the knife, the 6 threads sew it together. 2 needles in each side, and then 1 thread on the top, 1 thread on the bottom. Now I have this seam that's flush on the top. It's also flush on the back. So this part will be against my face. There won't be any seam digging into my skin like if I had used a serger or a lock stitch machine.